With Demon Souls completed, our Soul Series Marathon naturally makes its next stop at the iconic and critically acclaimed Dark Souls. I must admit, I've been super excited for this, as unlike with Demon Souls, I actually have a ton of experience with every one of these titles moving forward. Dark Souls brought with it a slew of new mechanics and concepts that would prove so effective and iconic that they would be included in every game moving forward. One of these is the inclusion of a separate school of casting known as Pyromancy. And goddamn, did they do it right. I mean, Pyromancies are easily one of the most broken builds this game has to offer. But you may be wondering, how could this be considered a challenge run if you plan to just delete every boss within seconds? Well, funny enough, there are a handful of required bosses that are either resistant or flat out immune to fire damage. This conflict will help the video build more of a narrative, thus resulting in higher viewer retention and allowing me to disguise a build video as a challenge run.
This pleases me greatly.
Also, you guys picked this, so roll the title card. But before we start, I've got something on my mind and I come to you humble, okay? The channel is just so close to 100K subscribers, and it's always been a long-term goal and a dream of mine to one day hit the big 100. So if you like challenge runs for fantasy RPGs, or even if you just want to see the rest of the runs for the remaining Souls titles, why not consider sticking around and hitting that subscribe button? I appreciate each and every one of you for even coming to this video in the first place. It has been a hell of a journey. Now let's start the run.
Super hot fire. I spit that. 2.5 minutes. I watched that.
My adventure begins with my character looking a lot like me when I haven't had my coffee in the morning. Yeah, I don't know how to tell you this, Oscar, but both of those legs are just completely shattered. That's bone soup in there, okay? Thanks for the Sunny D, though. I appreciate you. I hope you get it figured out. I pick up my Pyromancy glove, and for once in my life, I'm starting a run where I begin with the weapon I need. Thank you, Dark Souls. Oh, look, they added a Pixar mom as a boss fight.
Salutations, young Tommy. How you doing today?
This is the second consecutive intro boss that's packing, quite frankly, an absurd amount of cake. If we could please just petition From Software to bring back intro bosses with bakeries, that would just be great. Thanks. While we're at it, let's also bring back depressed, crestfallen soldiers in the hub area. These guys bring the player base a lot of confidence. No matter how bad you may think you are at these games, you'll never be give up and mope in the hub area for eternity levels of bad. With 6 beautiful levels under my belt, I quickly realized that a few fireballs are simply not enough to get me through most of these bosses. So with the master key, I make a brief jaunt to the Valley of Drakes to grab the red tier stone ring. You know, I also had to stop by and give Mr. Andre some back scritches for just working so hard. Love you, King. And then I'm off to the depths. Again, 8 fireballs isn't quite enough to kill the Capra Demon, but with my new shiny ring, I'm able to deal an even more absurd amount of damage. Each of his dogs only needs 1 fireball, then I can use a shield to help chip my health just low enough to get in red tier stone range. I mean, just look at that damage. I still ran out of fireballs, but this Pyramid Head knockoff is all delicious washboard abs, brawn and no brains. The Florida man has been freed from his bondage at last, and once he's back at Firelink Shrine, I purchase Combustion and another stack of fireballs. Now, the Pyromancy glove is uniquely broken in that one only needs souls to increase its potency as a catalyst. This obviously bypasses the restrictions of other types of casting vessels that normally require you to complete more of the game to unlock stronger variations. Meaning, in theory, you could spend a few hours grinding it all the way to plus 15 by just doing the dragon farm in Undead Parish. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but you could if you wanted to. As if that wasn't enough, 3 of the most powerful pieces of equipment for this build can also be obtained without killing a single boss. Power Within, a pyromancy just chilling in Blighttown, slowly drains your health, but gives a whopping 40% increase to your damage. The Crown of Dusk, another 20% increase, is obtained by killing the Hydra and saving the beautiful Miss Dusk from her crystal prison. Lastly, Griggs of Vinheim, also trapped for some reason, sells the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring for 20,000 souls, yet another 20% increase to our damage. When you put it all together and get within red tier stone range, this is what you get. I mean, it's kind of stupid, right? Oh, and Pyromancies just don't have stat requirements. As long as you have the glove, you can cast any of them. This allows the build to focus levels into vitality, attunement, endurance, whatever your little heart desires. With the gargoyles dead, I went back to the undead asylum and grabbed another boss kill and lots of yummy, delicious souls. After a pit stop at Quaylana, my glove is at plus 12, and I managed to get enough souls for Great Combustion as well. Now I think it's finally time to address the elephant in the room. Mommy Quaylag is unfortunately immune to fire, toxic, and also poison, and I cannot progress the game any further until she's dead. Summoning what few brain cells I have left, I drew on a distant memory of a video by an amazing challenge run legend who implemented a speedrun technique used to skip the boss entirely. A ledge near these pots in Blight Town, if approached just right, puts you into the death camera that normally plays when you fall from a drop that's high enough to be lethal. In this bizarre state, boss walls simply despawn, allowing Quaylag to be skipped, with the caveat being you can't see where you're going. I think speedrunners have the exact pathing memorized, but to be frank, I just walked forward until I was fairly confident I had left the boss room. Once you quit out and load back in, bam, Quaylag has been skipped. And I can ring the second bell. If you were to attempt this glitch yourself, make sure you bring a homeward bone and do not rest at the bonfire that's here. It will soft block you out of the rest of the game. Whilst here, I went ahead and fed 30 delicious humanities to the Daughters of Chaos Covenant, netting 2 of the best pyromancies in the entire game. And of course, unlocking the Lost Izalith shortcut, but we'll get back to that. Before moving on to Sin's Fortress, let's clean up a few more bosses. Can you believe they actually put a Night Rain boss in this game? So cool.
What spectacular pyromancy? Tell me about it. I have never seen anything like it.
I'll tell you.
No! 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 No!
Moving on to the Darkroot Garden. A little bit of lore about this guy that most people don't know. This isn't even the real Sif. This is actually an echo of his true self. The actual doggo is with his owner, somewhere far away, curled up in front of a fireplace without a care in the world. Or at least that's what I tell myself to get through this without crying and pissing and shitting. With his souls, my character is now at level 32, Pyromancy Flame at plus 14. We may as well move on to the Funhouse. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times I beat this game. This place just sucks eggs.
What the down doing?
Once I'm past the swinging axes of doom, I checked in with the resident onion bro. And then I noticed something magical was happening. I found myself no longer running through as fast as I could. I started taking my time, playing through the level properly, picking up items I didn't necessarily need. I think I was having fun.
I know it's hard to remember the people we used to be. It's even harder to remember. Oh, fuck.
Of course I'm having fun. The build is cracked, and this game is truly such a gem. Obviously, I'm not out of the woods yet. The bed of chaos has been looming over me like a fucking piano in a Looney Tunes episode, not only because the fight itself is the equivalent of trying to hammer a nail into wood with your ball sack, but also because it, just like Quaylag, is immune to fire damage. Forget about that though. For now, let's just enjoy this fleeting moment of bliss. I stopped by Tarkus to pick up the steel set with hopes that one day I'll be able to wear it and not fat roll. And that got me thinking. The armor in this game is way heavier in comparison to the games that follow. By the end of this run, I have like 30 plus endurance, and even with Havel's ring on, I'm still not able to fast roll in anything but the Elite Knight set. Perhaps Miyazaki didn't know at the time how much players would prefer fast rolling. Or maybe donning armor thicker than a bank vault with the speed of a turtle is actually intended and viable. I don't know. What I do know is this boss died without hitting me even once, and I move on to Anor Londo. While I make my way through this level, let me spin a yarn for you, okay? It's 2015, senior year of high school in small town America. I'm at work at a gas station, tired as hell because I stayed up the previous night dying for hours here at the rafters. While I'm restocking the shelves and mopping the floors, all I can think about is getting home and playing Dark Souls. I had already beaten Dark Souls 2, but nothing in that game gave me nearly as much trouble as what I had faced here. This area is legitimately the first time I ever hit a major difficulty spike in a video game. For an entire week, I would stay up late at night, just slamming my head against the wall, trying to beat Anor Londo. I never gave up though. No matter how many times those Silver Knights shot me off the ledge, no matter how many times Smo squashed me into the floor tiles, I just kept trying. I think as Souls-like enjoyers, we all come across a certain area or boss that sticks out and feels like an insurmountable task more so than the others. It determines whether we simply give up and drop the franchise or power through and become lifelong fans. Of course, I would eventually power through and drop thousands of hours into any game these developers give me, but I will always look back on my first time in Anor Londo not as the immense struggle that it was, but as the moment I fell in love with the gameplay loop that comes with From Software titles. If you can relate to that in any way, as in if you have your own trial by fire, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Regardless of not having played this game for at least a few years now, I called on the echoes of my past suffering, somehow making it through the entire area and boss fight without even one singular death. Of course, it helps when you're melting half the boss's health bar with each attack. Amazing chest ahead, thanks for the fast travel. Now, I'd like to try some invasions to test how effective my build is in PvP, simply because I love invading, and it is pretty cool to see whether or not these builds are actually viable.
Oh my goodness!
At first, I actually got invaded, and even though they almost killed me in one hit, I did manage to instead kill them in one hit. Hilarious. My first actual invasion ended poorly when I got destroyed by a fellow pyromancer. However, the next two resulted in the host dying to just one Great Chaos Fireball, and the third tried to attack through Great Combustion, which of course is never a good idea when you have absolutely no poise. I only had 4 cracked eye orbs, so unfortunately that does end my PvP adventure. I probably should have done a few more, but there isn't much fun to be had in ruining someone's boss run with the click of one button. In conclusion, to no one's surprise, pyromancies appear to be just as ridiculous during invasions as they are in boss rooms. Moving on.
I'll be heading down below shortly.
Don't, please don't. Don't go down there, Siegmeyer. Or Siegward, it's one or the other. Don't go!
I stopped by to flat gums with Frampt. Good to see you, old friend.
I need fucking hands.
After 1,000 years, it is you. It is really you.
I mean, I don't mean to brag.
Forgive me. I really should calm down.
Oh shit! You just busted a nut!
Then I gently laid the lordvessel in its rightful place, opening up the remaining sections of the game. I'm not quite mentally prepared for Lost Izalith yet, so I head to the funeral home to confront Gravelord Nito. On my way to Nito, I ran into Patches the Hyena. Since I don't need anything from his shop, might as well save myself the headache and put him down now.
What did I do? What did I do?
He's joking, right? Pinwheel was just as difficult as always. I think it took me 60, no, maybe 100 deaths to finally beat him, but that's to be expected. We all know the Tomb of Giants is just awful, no need to harp on it. I made sure to restore my humanity at the bonfire so Paladin Leroy would spawn. Even though I don't have the stats for his shield, the passive health regen lets me stay in red tearstone range just a tad longer, which will be necessary later for what I have planned. I wanted to try and use most of the pyromancies in the game since there are actually quite a few, and that got me thinking about Iron Flesh. When used, it clads my body in iron, increasing both poise and physical resistance by quite a bit, and that's kind of perfect for the Nito boss fight. In the past, my primary issue has always been the skeletons frame trapping me or stopping me from getting an attack off. Nito can still stun me, but his attacks are so few and far in between that I was able to beat him on my first try. I can't really put it off any longer. I guess it's time for Lost Izalith. Once back in Blighttown, I stumbled upon poor Laurentius, who had went hollow while seeking Quailana and her pyromancies. If I had remembered this would be the outcome, I would have just kept it to myself. Rest in peace, friend. Your help was invaluable to this run. After using the camera glitch again, I'm past Quailag and on my way to confront my ex-wife. Get it? Because, discharge? Whatever. Turns out this guy is also immune to fire damage. How cool is that? I need to be able to deal just a few hits of physical to get him to release his grip and fall to his death. death. There is yet another glitch that can be used to bypass the boss, but I have a different idea. If you let one of these egg dudes grab you, he'll plant a parasite in your skull that takes half your souls. Once it's stolen a full 100k, it hatches into a centipede that replaces your kick with a truly awful bite attack. Some of you told me to beat the game using only this, and I ask you, what have I done for you to hate me so much? If you speak with Anyi whilst eggified, he'll sell you a few new pyromancies, namely Poison Mist and Toxic Mist. Now, while the egg attack isn't technically a pyromancy, it is acknowledged by Anyi, who is a pyromancer, or at least he was, so I feel maybe there is an argument to be made that this egghead is technically part of the pyromancer's toolbox. I mean, really, I'm just splitting hairs here. I love the egghead. I think it's cool as hell. And guess what? It just so happens to be the little bit of physical damage I need to get past the ceaseless discharge. I tried out both Poison and Toxic Mist on the Fire Sage, and yeah, I mean, it seems fine. Since I already have the shortcut unlocked, I can run straight to the bed of chaos, grabbing Chaos Fire Whip along the way.
And here we are. You know, this is comically underwhelming with the music turned off.
I thought this would be the normal 3 minimum deaths needed to complete this boss. You know, 1 for the left, 1 for the right, then 1 for the middle. But no, it took far more than that.
Okay. I don't really know. I don't really know. All right, we bait the swipe. And then we go. Okay. We still go. No, we don't. We back up. I see her swiping again. We heal instead. Bait the swipe again. And then we go. All right. I'll be honest, I don't really understand. Break this. Break it. Jesus Christ. And now we watch out for that. And we're gonna go in. And we died. So she's gonna do that. But then she's gonna slam. And that's gonna give me enough time to get close like this. Woo! No!
When I did finally make it to the middle, my fears had been realized. I currently have no way to kill this boss, especially since I already used my egg vermifuge. Instead of giving up, I raced to the wiki as I often do when I hit a wall during these runs. There is one last pyromancy that could save the day, but it's all the way at the end of the DLC. Now I'm gonna say something a little controversial here, but I do not care for the DLC. Prior to this, I had beaten it only one other time and never really had much desire to come back. I know some of you really care for it. That's just my opinion. We don't have to agree on everything, right? Yes, Artorias is super cool, and the lore behind meeting him here is badass, I must admit. But when I think about the following DLCs that come after this, it really just doesn't stick out much. This one-armed madman did give me quite a bit of trouble at first, but when he runs off to rage, it's the perfect opportunity to wrap things up. Once I reach the abyss, the pyromancy I need is just a few flights down. I forgot to record the moment in the run where I picked it up. That's my bad. But here it is, Black Flame. It's essentially great combustion, but it also deals some physical damage as well. While I'm here, I may as well kill Manus. He got me on the first go around, but on my second try, I managed to beat him. Maybe it's because of the absurd damage that I'm doing, but for a final DLC boss, he just doesn't really seem that difficult. With Black Flame literally in hand, I run back to the bed of chaos and put it down for good. Wrapping up the last 2 areas of the game was just pure, unadulterated fun. Once again, I took it slow, looted all the stuff, and just appreciated the level design. Like this crystal area before Seath, I mean, the sounds and the visuals, they got the moonlight butterflies. Blows my mind. This guy's got thin skin, which means he takes a metric ton of fire damage, and we love that. Last but not least is New Londo and the 4 Kings. I forget you can't take the ring off once you're down here, my bad. I would love to see what this boss room would look like if it was lit up. Like when they spawn, they look like they're super far away and close the distance pretty quick. So this room has to be massive, right? All 4 Lord Souls have been collected and just one last boss awaits. Now this run was incredibly easy compared to, you know, know, the Demon Souls run. So for the last fight, I wanted to do something to challenge myself just a little bit. I always see people parrying Lord Gwyn, like that first attack he does where he comes in and he jumps at you, people throw out a parry and then absolutely just destroy him. I've never been able to accurately time any of the parries, so I sat here for like 2 straight hours just trying to learn the timing. It was pretty difficult. I eventually learned it's best to dodge the first attack and then hope that he follows up with the super slow side swipe. After that, it's game over. This super sad music is making me emotional, so I'm gonna try not to bawl my eyes out real quick, but I truly love this game so much, and thanks to you all, this run was probably the most fun I have ever had in this game. Each title in this series means a lot to me as a person. As I mentioned in the prior video, it's where I fell in love with dark fantasy, and these videos are supposed to be my way to celebrate them. So thank you for joining me, and I sincerely hope to see you in the next one. And that's it. That's Dark Souls using only the power of the Great Swamp. Peak Souls 2 is next. It's the first Dark Souls game I've ever played. Like ever, and I've really been excited to start it. I'll likely do a community poll to vote on what the next quote-unquote challenge will be, so be sure to keep an eye on the community tab. Huge shout out to the members. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Members get access to perks like the occasional members video and a members badge. If you're interested in becoming a member, check the description for more details. I'll see you all in the next one. Later.